Ukraine used to be known as the breadbasket of Europe, but now, because of the war, many people in Ukraine are going hungry. Who will step into the gap and help feed Ukraine during this time of need? Today, I interview Yuriy. His organization, Hope for Ukraine, is providing humanitarian aid and spiritual support to the people of Ukraine in the midst of the ongoing war.
Jesus said, "Go into all the world and preach the gospel."
Everyone who calls on the name of the Lord shall be saved.
Welcome to the Evangelism Podcast with Dr. Daniel King, where Daniel interviews full-time evangelists, pastors, missionaries, and normal everyday Christians to discover how they share their faith, their powerful testimonies, and amazing stories that will inspire you to reach people with the good news. And now, here's your host, missionary and evangelist, Daniel King.
Welcome to the Evangelism Podcast. I'm Daniel King, and I'm excited about telling people about Jesus. Today I have a very special guest with me. Yuriy, thank you for joining me on the Evangelism Podcast.
Thanks for having me. Thank you.
You are working in Ukraine. Ukraine has been in the news a lot lately because of the war. Tell me, what is the situation on the ground in Ukraine, and what are you doing to help?
Yeah, so I'm founder and CEO of Hope for Ukraine. So it's a humanitarian aid organization that we've been working on the ground in Ukraine since 2016, way before the full-scale war. And after a full-scale war that took place in February 2022, our main ministry in Ukraine has been distributing food kits to family in need. So on average right now, we provide 1,500 food kits to families living in frontline towns where the full-scale war is taking place. So right now, we are 2.5 years into the full-scale war. And what we see on the ground is, how they say after war, famine comes in. And we see a huge number of people that are falling behind poverty lines because just the regular citizens, the ones who had some kind of savings, right? They have exhausted that. And also, Ukraine before the war was a breadbasket of Europe as far as the grain production and everything that's been cultivated in there. But right now, because of shellings and bombings, a lot of the fertile soil that was cultivated before, farmers are not able to use. So basically, we see the Ukraine as a country going from being a breadbasket of the Europe to become a beggars of Europe. And that's me as a Ukrainian. I came here when I was 16, so I lived in Ukraine 16 years. My life is set to see how the evil forces of devil can use something like war to just ravage the whole country and destroy millions of lives. So the situation is bleak. It's not here in US and other parts of the world. It's not on the front line on the news, but because other things have come up. But we work on the ground every day, and we see that things are not getting better; they're getting worse. They're getting worse for regular citizens and the families that we serve.
And so in this time of desperation, how is your organization able to help the people on the ground in Ukraine? Tell me what's happening on a day-to-day basis.
So just to give you an idea that we feed in 1,500 families each week. We give them food kit, and a food kit can feed a family of 4 people up to 10 days. So the way the process works, we have our hub that's located in Lviv, Ukraine. That's western Ukraine, close to Polish border. And then we work with about 100 different partners all across Ukraine. Many of them are faith-based organizations. So every day we have 2 to 3 volunteering vans that come to our big warehouse in Lviv. They load up with the food kits and they bring into hard hit zones. So most of our areas that we serve are folks in Donetsk region, Kherson region, Mykolaiv region, Kharkiv region, Sumy region. A lot of these territories, for example, in Kherson region, they used to be occupied by Russians. So folks live there. The infrastructure has been completely destroyed. Some of the families, they have not had light or running water there for like 2 years. So basically for them, these food kits that our volunteers bring, it's basically a lifeline because there's no steady supply, or like there's not like a supermarket where you can go in and buy stuff. And so that's what we do every day, and that's our main program. The second one, we also provide after-school program for children of war, where we give kids opportunity after school to go to arts and crafts classes, or we have tutoring opportunities, because so we understand that right now in Ukraine, most of the kids are raised by single mothers, because most of the male population in the army defending the country, a lot of them has been, just to give you an idea, right now in Ukraine there is 70,000 amputees. And just to give you a comparison, France, right, which is twice the size of Ukraine as far as population goes, they have about 20,000 altogether, right? So you're looking at a lot of folks, a lot of dads who come back home and they not capable of supporting the families no more. So a lot of that falls on mothers' shoulders. So we, as an organization, trying to support them by giving the kids free access to after-school program. And also, we run internally displaced center in Lviv, Ukraine. It's the same place where we have our warehouse. We have a big living quarters where we take in folks who run from the front line. We place them there, and then we try to find them permanent place to stay, whether it's in Ukraine, in the western side of Ukraine, or some of them they move to Central Europe and stuff.
What is happening spiritually in Ukraine? Often when there is peace, people become complacent spiritually, but then in times of war and displacement, people start turning to God for help. And so what are some of the spiritual needs, and what is your organization doing to help people spiritually?
So first of all, just to give you an idea, in our refugee center, we have a chapel there. So all the folks who come there and stay there, most of them don't know Christ, don't know about God. So every Sunday we have a church service there where, we don't force anybody to go there, but we encourage them to come. And a lot of people who came through the doors of our center, eventually dedicated their life to Jesus, right? So just to give an idea, since the start of the full-scale war, I think we had over 3,000 individuals who came through these doors. And some of them, so the way our center works is they don't have a time limit, how long they can stay there. It's not like we give them 2 weeks and you got to get out. Some of them been living there for a year and a half. And some of them, and that's what I see the best method to preach gospel is through your lifestyle. Some of these folks, they come to the center, and everybody, all the staff, that all the volunteers who work there, they born again believers. And by the way they've been treated, by the way we're taking care of them, right? They start asking me, okay, can I find out what's different about you guys? Let me hear about the good news of Jesus Christ, and that's a lot of them has been become devoted Christians by watching our team and our staff conduct themselves in a like Christ manner.
Are you
So
actively doing events where you are sharing the gospel with people and helping them to
yes,
come to faith in Christ?
yeah. So we do we do food distribution events and humanitarian distribution events almost weekly, right? Whether it's for internally displaced um, folks or the people in the front line, right? So before each event, we have someone who shared the word and to pray for them, right? And letting them know that that the best hope is found in Jesus, because some of them they went through hell and back, and a lot of them they question if God exists, why He has allowed me to go through this, all this horror that I'm going through, and that's we use each and every opportunity to let them know that no matter how bad the current situation is, that Jesus still got their back, and then but places like Kherson is it's been liberated, but it's still under constant attacks, right, by artillery and drones and stuff like that. But on Sundays, churches are packed there, and after every service, there, our volunteers there, they cook fresh meals for them, folks who come there. So, it's this time of desperation. I think we see a lot of people are open to the gospel more and more, and because we have a lot of opportunities because of these constant aid giveaway events. There's events that we serve 1,000 people at a time. It's like a small crusade, and so we're trying to some of our partners they put Bible verses on the food bags that they give away to people, right? So every chance, the all our partners who are faith based, they use every opportunity that to tell people about God.
Tell me a little bit about your story. I saw that you graduated from Regent University. And how did you get started doing this type of ministry in Ukraine?
Yeah, so my story is, I come from a family of Protestant bishops. My father, he's a Pentecostal bishop in Ukraine. He's still alive. He lives in Lviv. And when I was 4 years old, he was actually put to prison by communists for preaching the gospel and for smuggling the Bible into Ukraine during those days. So that was 1986. And he did 2 years there for that. So basically, as far as serving people, serving God, and that's always been ingrained in our family. Then I came here. I did undergrad in Zion Bible College. That's in Rhode Island, and then I went to do film in Regent University, right? So after that, I spent some time in the media industry. But, my whole life, whatever I did as far as a business or my day life, I was trying to use my talent and my ability to represent Christ, right? In every marketplace I was in. So the way the Hope for Ukraine started is that, there was a annexation of Crimea that took place in 2014. And at that time, we already saw a first wave of refugees. And also on the ground, we've seen there was a lot of kids with treatable medical conditions and that because the parents didn't have money uh, to pay for extra medical treatments, these diseases would progress in their lives. So that's how we started to try to help these families who were poor, who were kids who were sick, and then little by little, and I believe this has all been designed by God from the beginning, right? Because I never studied, I never planned on studying nonprofit, right? And nonprofit is really hard. I mean, it's a grueling kind of work. It's not like business where you have a goods and you sell it and then you get money back. Here is a different story. But God used everything to set the platform when 2022 would come. Because just to give an idea, since the full-scale war, I think right now we have served 97 million meals in Ukraine.
Wow.
So with that amount, and 1,500 families, right, a week, and that's basically 1,500 opportunities to tell someone about Jesus each week. So I would never be able to do it, through like a regular means of evangelism, like going in a stadium or like. So I think it's this tool and this organization God used greatly to take so many people out of poverty, give people hope and tell them about Christ. And, we don't keep the records of how many salvations or whatever, but I know that it's just if the snapshot from the people who come through our doors in the center, those 3,000 something individuals. I know about 80% of them have found Christ.
That's amazing. It's horribly tragic what is happening in Ukraine, and eventually I pray the war will come to an end. And when that happens, there's going to be so much ministry that needs to be done in Ukraine for many years to come. I mean, the scars from this war are going to be long and deep lasting. What role do you see that your organization will have in helping to heal after the war is over?
I mean, it's all of the above, because what we see right now is, about 80% of kids have some kind of post-traumatic disorders now developed by war, right? We have a lot of people who struggle with insomnia because of the constant air raids. That's on the and anxiety, fear, and anger. I mean, you got to understand that the healing process after everything's said and done is going to be the whole generation, and because some of the questions that we get a lot, God is so good, and why this happening to our country, why this happened to my family. And that's something that we will have to work with to try to rebuild these lives, right? To rebuild them spiritually, emotionally, and also, on a regular level, as far as, getting folks a home, job, education, because just to give an idea that most of the folks, that they lived okay life before 2022. And if all of a sudden, you lose everything, you have no home to go to, you have no job, your career, everything, and you basically all you have is one mattress to sleep on, now, and 2 meals a day to eat, and you have no way what you're gonna do with your life. This is basically, it's really, it's very hard for these individuals to process. So as us as an organization, I think we're gonna get involved a lot into counseling, rebuilding lives, and I think the most important is to find for these people to find closure, right? For them to understand that, okay, no matter what happened, the God still has a plan for me, and the way forward is to finding Jesus, anchoring my life in Him, and then He will be that person next to me who will never leave me or forsake me. So no matter what happened to me, so I think that's where we will go. Right now, we're still in emergency response, and we do what we can, because I always tell that I feel like I'm a firefighter. I have to these fires. Like one day we plan on doing Christmas gifts for Christmas season, and then we're dealing with energy crisis, so we have to divert into providing generators, right? So that's where we're at right now. But I think long run, it's going to be rebuilding lives and helping these families to get reestablished again.
Well, thank you so much for what you're doing to help the people of Ukraine during this very crucial time. God has prepared you for such a time as this. If someone is listening and they have a heart to help Ukraine, maybe they want to help to feed people, what is the website or a way that they can get in touch with you, find out more about your organization?
Yeah, they can go to our website, hfu.org, and they can find more there. They can contribute toward our feeding program. They can learn more how they can help in Ukraine. So it's HFU.
And that stands for Hope for Ukraine, HFU.
Correct. Yeah, Hope for Ukraine, yes.
Wonderful. Well, let's finish by praying for Ukraine. And would you pray, but instead of praying in English, could you pray in Ukrainian for the people of Ukraine?
Sure. Господь Ісус, ми зараз стали перед Тобою. Ми дякуємо Тобі за цей час, що ми можемо спілкуватися про Україну і розказувати про потреби України. Я молюсь зараз за всіх людей, які проходять через дуже тяжкий час в Україні. Я прошу, щоб Ти торкнувся їх, щоб Ти допоміг їм, щоб Ти був близько біля них. І ми просимо зараз, щоб війна, яка там відбувається, щоб вона закінчилась чим швидше і мир прийшов на українську землю. Амінь.
Amen. Well, thank you so much for being on the Evangelism Podcast.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you for having me.
Are you called by God to be an evangelist? Do you want to lead millions of people to Jesus? Do you desire to be trained in the practical side of building a ministry? Then check out the Daniel King School of Evangelism. Learn how to be an effective evangelist from Dr. Daniel King's 20-plus years of experience. Daniel King has done crusades all over the world in over 70 nations and has seen over 2 million people give their lives to Jesus. But it wasn't easy. There was no crusade school, so Daniel traveled the world, learning from and observing top evangelists, noticing how they successfully won souls for Christ. Now, he wants to share decades of knowledge and experience with you. Topics of the Daniel King School of Evangelism include: what is an evangelist? How to be a master soul winner? How to give an altar call? How to organize a crusade? How to raise money for your ministry? And much more. If you want to be an evangelist but don't know where to start, the Daniel King School of Evangelism is for you. Enroll today in the School of Evangelism by going to danielkingministries.com/evangelism.
Thanks so much for listening today. I am excited about telling people about Jesus, and I want to invite you to be a part of helping us to rescue people from hell and take them with us to heaven. There's two things you can do to help. First of all, can you go find the Evangelism Podcast on Apple iTunes and leave us a positive review? By giving a review, you will help other people find these valuable resources about sharing our faith. And second, would you become a financial partner with King Ministries? Every single dollar that people give us enables us to lead at least one person to Jesus. And so that means for only $1, you can help start a party in heaven. And so today I want to invite you to become a monthly partner. You can start out for just $1, but if God puts it on your heart to do more, of course you can do more. But please go to kingministries.com and become a monthly partner with us today to help us to lead more people to Jesus. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
For more information about how to share your faith or to financially support our worldwide evangelistic outreaches, visit kingministries.com. Again, that's kingministries.com.